All right, I'm going to need you guys to dig deep tonight. Dig deep on the back-to-back. Can you do that for me?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh, did they play last night?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the pregame lounge. Or as I like to call it, the Brother I Have 47 lounge.
Let's go.
Brother, I have Subus.
We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure to use the code DNVR when you sign up and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. We got a lot to get into tonight. We're going to get you set for Nuggets Timberwolves. We're going to talk about Tim Connelly, the Nuggets former GM. This is the first time the Nuggets are playing the Timberwolves since he left Denver for Minnesota. We're going to get a little NuggHype on tonight's pregame lounge as well. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just enough to get the people going.
Let's go.
And then we'll finally wrap up with D-Line's best DraftKings Sportsbook bets for tonight.
AKA the best picks
Yes.
of the
What
night.
could go wrong?
Yes. I'm Harrison Wynn hosting tonight, joined by that man, by D-Line, who's hopefully going to make us some money later on.
Guys, I am so ready for a game. It's been a scant 23 and a half hours since the last one started. Is the rim fixed?
Good thing we don't have to worry about that tonight. According to Jaylen Brown, not fixed.
By the way, were they just shooting on a crooked rim anyway for a few minutes before they noticed?
It seems like somebody noticed that after Robert Williams had that dunk where he hung on the rim, somebody noticed it was tilted after that. But I'm not ruling that theory out entirely.
I'm into it.
I'm not ruling it out.
I'm into it.
Not
Do
really.
it again, Nuggets. Do
That's
it again.
Brendan Vogt of Hallway Walk fame.
Let's go. Take you guys behind the curtain since it's now in front of the camera.
I think we have the video, too.
when
if
you
just
show
wanna
up
play
at the
it
same
whenever,
time
yeah.
as the players, you're in the shot. I thought if I moved to the left wall, I'd move out of the shot. I moved further into the shot.
Yeah.
I want everyone to know I hated that every second of it.
You really looked like you were hating it, I believe.
Yeah, you really look like you were trying to
Look,
escape life. Yeah.
There he is.
We do enough to make this whole thing seem like it's about
Show
us.
the wider
when it's
version
not.
with Derek White, too. Because you were
Oh,
walking
man.
in after a Colorado legend.
Yeah, I was. And I knew, I was like, not only am I walking in at the same time as the players, that's Derek White.
Here's the actual video.
This is going on cable.
There's Brendan Vogt on the
Yeah.
right.
Wearing the Valor.
If you listen, the original clip has the audio. I tell the security ladies, I'm going to stop with you because I want out of this thing so bad.
Oh, man, that was a great moment from last night.
Yeah.
All right, Nuggets in Minnesota to play the Timberwolves. Vogt, give us some game notes for tonight.
Let's get some game notes. Let's start with injury report housekeeping. Jamal Murray, present. He's off the injury report.
Let's go.
So it's Jeff Green is out. Who are the other fellows that are out? Colin Gillespie is out, and Peyton Watson as well. On the Timberwolves side, good friend Dane Moore, NBA, letting us know that there were some last-minute additions to the injury report. D'Angelo Russell was added about 2 hours ago, questionable with an illness. Naz Reid was an even later update, questionable with back spasms. Last update that I have, fellas, their game time decisions per Chris Finch.
That's what I saw, too.
Okay, so there you go. Potential break for the Nuggets. Naz Reid, kind of a low-key Nuggets killer, no?
Naz Reid, I like Naz Reid. I like him as a player, one of my guys. That
your
would be
guy.
a great thing for Denver if he's out tonight. He always seems to kill the Nuggets.
He's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, he is good.
And before we get
He's
into
nice.
Points of emphasis tonight, Real Statsman, who's a great and underrated follow on Nuggets Twitter. It's as it sounds. He just posts Nugget stats. It's
Oh, cool. Sick.
Yeah, it's awesome. He tweeted, Denver just ended its longest active losing streak to any team against Boston, which had been 6 straight. But it's now against the Minnesota Timberwolves, guys, who last year were trending way up. They've beaten the Nuggets 3 times in a row. But it's a different story in Minnesota now, of course. It's a kind of sad story for
Depends
some
on
old
your
friends of
perspective.
ours and old foes of ours there
Yeah.
in Minnesota. For Michael Malone, he said there's a reason they're 10-2 right now in their last 12, and those wins have come against some good teams. And it's about obviously we're not there. By the way, the Nuggets account posted this, so I'm not stealing anything, newspaper writers.
Nobody thinks you are.
All right, I'm just letting them know, man, before they get fired up.
Okay.
It's, they are taking care of business in transition, which was a real mess to start the season on both ends of the floor, really.
Yeah.
And it's where some easy points can be won or prevented. Obviously, what goes hand in hand in that, the best way to help your transition defense is to not turn it over.
Yeah.
Denver at their best, and their best quarters, best gamers have limited that. And then he pointed out year after year, it seems like we're one of the elite defensive rebounding teams. Jokic. And that helps as well in defensive turnarounds. So it's about understanding why they're winning right now, keeping that focus and keeping that approach tonight. We'll see, man. We'll see. I know the Wolves seem to take it to this Nuggets team with a particular ferocity last season.
Anthony Edwards, remember, he just always goes bananas, if I could use Dwayne's favorite word, every time that he goes from behind the three-point line for whatever reason.
But this team, obviously, it's a different story right now. They're reeling. I'm going to take some of your notes here, Wind. They're 16-21. They've lost, I think, now 7 in a row. 3-7 in their last 10. It's not great. It's not great. So, different Wolves team here for the Nuggets to play on a back-to-back.
Oh, yeah, this has been a disaster season for the Timberwolves. I mean, full stop. They're 16-21. They are 20th in offense, 14th in defense. They were 13th in defense last year without Rudy Gobert. They've added him and just stayed the same defensively. They just lost to Detroit at home.
Oh,
we know the feeling.
The feeling. Yeah,
Sick.
That was the lowest point of our entire season, I feel like.
After that loss, the Timberwolves had a players-only meeting. It was one of those kind of losses at one of those points in the season.
Oh, my God.
Do those ever work, D-Line? Do players-only meetings ever work?
Didn't the Nuggets have one that felt like it worked?
I feel like Boston probably had one last year.
They definitely. I feel like. I mean, do they work? I don't know, but it's always like a guys. We gotta. I don't know how much the actual meeting itself helps, but it is a sort of like, bro, we gotta refocus.
Do you guys want to know where the Wolves are at? They're posting long Austin Rivers quotes.
Again, we know the feeling. We know what they're going through, I feel like.
And I like his perimeter defense, too. It gets better than that, though. You know what I mean?
Naz Reid and D'Angelo Russell are both out tonight. So this is a banged-up Timberwolves squad Denver's going against. Their starters, Anthony Edwards, Kyle Anderson, Jalen Noel, not counting on you guys to know who that is, and Jaden McDaniels.
Good player.
He's okay.
All right. All right, sorry. It's just trying to be like a little...
This is the game Denver, even on the second night of a back-to-back, should win.
Oh, man.
How are you feeling just about this one heading into it, Eric?
I mean, all of the things on paper, all the things we discussed, it's like, oh, man, this is an easy dub for the Nugs. But, unfortunately, we're talking about human beings
Yes, we are.
That played late into the night, sort of, last night, and then had to travel to Minnesota, had to check in at what time to the hotel.
Probably 3 a.m.
I mean, there's back-to-backs in the NBA are the most perilous and most ridiculous and the most unfair of all of the, basically of anything in sports. I hate back-to-backs.
Well, you'll be thrilled to know that this one has an added element of, that was their best win of the season last night.
I know.
And they've been prepped for Boston. So this is the classic trap, emotional letdown, back-to-back travel game. It's all in there, man.
The only thing is that I feel like Nikola Jokic is immune to an emotional letdown game because he plays with very reserved emotion to begin with. And
we are AJ.
And Jamal Murray did not play last night, so
true.
He should be raring to go.
Raring to go, fresh. Everybody else, though, I'm a little nervous about. We'll see.
Yeah. We will see for sure.
I'm nervous.
I'm not worried about Nikola Jokic, as you said. Here's a stat for you. Nikola Jokic last night shot 50% or better from the field in his 27th straight game.
Ridiculous.
That's the second longest streak in the NBA of that, behind Nick Claxton, who shot like 3 times the entire year outside of the paint. But it gets even better because Jokic has shot under 50% from the field only once this season.
It's insane.
Once. He shot better than 50% in every game except for one.
I think that was in a win, too, and he played well.
He went 3 of 10 against the Jazz in October 28th, the 6th game of the year. Denver won by 16. Once. That's one of the wildest stats I've ever heard.
And that was
totally
BJ,
honest.
you know what I mean?
That was BJ.
Now we're talking AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Let's not talk about BJ. Let's talk about AJ.
Yeah. Let's move on here. The Nuggets are in Minnesota tonight. They are playing the Timberwolves. The new general manager of the Timberwolves is friend of the show, Tim Connelly. First time Nuggets are playing them since Connelly took that job. Of course, you guys remember how it happened this summer. Minnesota came in the side door offered Tim Connelly what was described to us as like life-changing money, a deal he really couldn't turn down, has some type of ownership stake type thing that nobody really seems to know about for sure in the contract. But Tim Connelly took the job. He traded for Rudy Gobert. Their season has gone downhill. But this, I thought, would be a good time to reflect for a second just back on the Tim Connelly era, because we were talking about it before we went live. I mean, he is responsible, of course, for every player on this roster, really except for 3. KCP, Bruce Brown, Christian Brown.
And good additions by Calvin Booth, of
Great
course.
additions by Calvin Booth. Absolutely perfect additions this offseason, I thought. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is Tim is still the guy who constructed this team. He drafted Jokic.
Yes.
He pulled off what I still think is an underrated fleecing when he got Aaron Gordon from Orlando for Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, who was in the G League last time I checked, and late first-round pick. What are your feelings about going up against Tim Connelly here?
Tim Connelly is the grand architect of this team. I will forever be grateful for Tim Connelly's contributions to the Denver Nuggets. He completely turned the culture around. Like when he came in to power for the Denver Nuggets, like they were about as low as they could possibly be. And obviously, like, you know, everyone will say, like, you know, if he didn't draft Jokic, blah, 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 but he did. Like, he made the most important moves this franchise probably will ever see, back to back to back. I mean, he had some of the most impressive draft hauls that you can imagine, or that you can hope for from a GM. So, like, Calvin Booth has done a great job, but I mean, it's you know, it's easier to sort of fine tune than start from the beginning, which is what Tim did. So, I mean, I still hate that we lost him. I really wish like that he was here to enjoy the success that the Nuggets are currently enjoying, which came from his hard work. But, you know, I mean, now I hope we kill the Timberwolves tonight. But like I loved him.
Yeah, we always talk about this perfect story with the Nuggets, obviously ending in a championship, and like Tim Connelly building this team and winning a championship would have been the perfect end to that story. It's not going to happen now. It's not the case. But I do think Calvin Booth is absolutely the right guy to put the Nuggets over the top. I think he showed that with the moves he made last summer. I think he will continue to show it. But there is a kind of like thing out there that you think about, like, what if the Nuggets were able to do it with Tim?
Oh, of course. And, you know, especially as right now they're enjoying some of the fruits of the patience. You talked about the culture and some of the guys they were willing to pay early and stick with. And, you know, we'll see if that pays off down the road all the way, right? The big payoff that everyone wants. But I think there are many reasons why we have really mostly ever talked about basketball or at worst injuries in Denver. And we've had so little else to worry about and discuss ad nauseum in terms of drama and all that. And I think Tim's a part of that. You know, Tim was a flawed GM, like every GM is. You know, there are tiers to this thing. A lot of it's about luck. He'd be the first to tell you. He'd be the very first to tell you. But he did. Look, I'm glad Calvin Booth is the guy finishing this job, because I think he looked at the roster and said, I know what this needs. And he was right. Having said that, I'm glad Tim was the guy for the build and the patience, because it's been a fun ride, and I think it's a championship core that Booth has put his kind of Salt Bay sprinkle on. And, you know, you don't have to. GMs are not wholly bad or good. Like the Gobert trade was terrible, right? It was terrible, and he made mistakes in Denver. But I liked the AG trade. I like having Jokic on the team. And at the end of the day, the same, whether it was impulse or control or authority, right? All these factors in a bowl, whatever it was that gave Tim the ability to make the mistake of drafting Tyler Lydon, all those factors were present when he pulled the string on Jokic as well. And he'd be the first to tell you it's luck, but that's part of it. So, you know, he did a good job here. And in some ways, it's unfortunate he won't get to finish the job. I hope the Nuggets crush them tonight.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on, because I'm feeling a little NuggHype, guys. I'm feeling a little NuggHype coming off that Boston win.
Let's go.
I'm high on the Nuggets, man. I mean, how high, we'll see in the scale of confidence here. But I mean, just to look at where the Nuggets are right now, they're 24-12. They're at the top of the Western Conference. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're the hottest team in the Western Conference, the second hottest team in the NBA behind the Brooklyn Nets, who have won 11 games in a row. The offense is still climbing. If you look at just the offensive rating, Denver really narrowed the mark between them and Boston for that top offensive spot in the league. The defense is climbing slowly, but it is climbing. Guys, are like the Denver Nuggets the team to beat right now in the NBA?
Are they back?
Are they the team to beat in the NBA right now, D-Line?
Is purgatory over? For the time being, yes, absolutely. The Denver Nuggets are finally like picking up where they left off at the end of the bubble. It's like been so goddamn long. We've had to endure the slings and arrows of other upstart squads that come up, flash, disappear. Like the Nuggets were built meaningfully. They were built to contend for a long time. We had to go through the period with no Jamal, no MPJ, getting those two back, and then adding, around the edges with defensive players and smart glue guys. Like the Denver Nuggets, like have everything that they need right now. They have tough players. They have smart players. They have defensive specialists. They have shooting. They have spark plug players. Like they really have everything that they need. So it just is a matter of like them having to put it all together.
Chat is just beside themselves with Eric's confidence.
No, but I mean,
they're really nervous.
Yeah, Vogt. I mean this like in
That's
all
not,
seriousness.
What's jinxing about that? Like I'm just
No,
we
they're
have what we. I'm
No,
not talking
we're
to
not
you. I'm
jinxing
talking
it.
to these idiots.
They're scarred by Smugget.
Oh, dude, why would you say
if
that?
If you're scarred by Smuggets, don't get in a
Why
slack
would you
with Brendan
say
Vogt.
that?
Do not talk to Brendan Vogt at any point if you are worried about.
Why would you say it?
I meant it as a reference. I wasn't invoking it.
Vogt, in all seriousness, though, the Nuggets are at the top of the West. They beat Memphis. We've seen New Orleans. We've seen Dallas this season. The Clippers are 4 games back. The Suns got crushed by the Knicks today. I don't know if you guys were tuning into that game or the PHNX post-game lounge that followed. They just beat Boston. The Nets are streaking. I feel like I'm the only one that's not buying the Nets. The Bucks are there, but like, should the Nuggets be the most feared team in the NBA right now?
Sorry, Chad is furious. I'm so sorry. It was an accident. I think they're up there, man. I really do. And job's not finished. It's January 2nd, and the goal is to be in this position June. But
of course,
as of right now, as far as where they could be in January, things are trending up at the right time. You know, in the regular season context, this core, the Malone, Jokic, Murray thing, they've earned the benefit of the doubt. As far as chasing a championship, they haven't. So we needed to see them, like as far as the angst, even if you believed, we still needed to see them put a string together like they did to close out December to start the year here in 2023. So I just think right now, especially at home, this is kind of your big Nuggets takeaway over the years, and I think it's as true right now as ever. I know they're on the road right now, but I'm just saying they can beat anyone at home.
Yes.
So I think they're in that top tier at the very least.
Yeah. I'm at the point with the Nuggets where every game that they play at home, I'm picking the Nuggets to win.
Yep.
That's just where my confidence level is with this team right now. And I would say on the scale of confidence, I'm heating up. I'm heating up. I'm not appropriately measured anymore. I'm absolutely heating up about this team because, as we've seen this season, there's no way to game plan for them. There's no way to stop the Nuggets offense.
This graphic rules.
You have to absolutely hope, if you're a defense going up against the Nuggets, that Denver just cannot shoot from 3 and has like a 5 of 25 night from 3. That's the only way you're stopping this team. D-Line, what's your scale of confidence right now? Where are you on this beautiful graphic?
I'm joining you in the dev level, dude. I'm heating
You're
up.
heating up
I'm
as well.
Heating up. I mean, I can't.
Let me know in the chat where you guys are at as well.
For the sake of the world, like no one should hit Adam levels on anything. I mean, it's just not a safe place to be. But like, how could you not? The Nuggets are showing you like over the past stretch of games that like they got it, man. They absolutely have it. Now it's just a matter of navigating those pesky basketball gods and making sure that, just winning that war of attrition and just being all together at the end of the road here. But they have exactly what they need.
Did you make this graphic?
Of course.
That's a short joke, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I think I just realized that.
Where are you?
It sure is.
Then I have no choice but to tell the truth. I'm on the short side. No, I'm heating up. It's not out of control because the start to the season it also happened, right? As did these great wins. I think if they had shown us what they've shown us defensively now all year, you're getting out of control. But they haven't. And I don't think this team has earned... They're going to pick up wins. They're going to bank wins. But they haven't... They're prone to some regular season lapses of focus, right? So...
Who isn't? Who amongst us isn't?
So listen, I think they're where we want them to be right now. But because the goal is where it is, the goal is winning it all and not being the best team in January... I think most people are going to stop at heating up because they want to see another gear, and possibly this team has it as well.
A lot of players say you don't want to peak too early. That's my thinking right now.
Right.
I can't be peaking too early. All right, let's get out our phones, fire up the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Let's make some money. Let's throw down some money tonight. Let's throw down some bets, Eric. How are we thinking?
Well, let's look.
How are we thinking tonight?
Well, so the Nuggets are favored tonight.
Okay.
Which is...
Second out of back-to-back favorite.
They are favored by 4 points. On the road, second night of a back-to-back.
The depleted Timberwolves.
The very depleted Timberwolves. I'm sticking away from... I never bet points. I hate it. I also don't like to bet the money line very much. But, if I was going to bet it, I think I would probably take the Nuggets on the money line. But let's get into what I actually like to bet, which is just the props, baby. Let's start with one Nikola Jokic. You familiar?
Oh, I know that guy.
I'm going to go right back to the well. He paid off last night. I feel like it's going to pay off again. Let's just go Nikola Jokic points.
Okay.
Very simple, very straightforward, and very reliable these days. All you need to get is over 25.5.
Okay.
Which he's been scoring 30 points, 40 points. He had one game where I think he only scored like 16.
Well, he had like the 13-13-13 game.
Yeah. But I feel great about that. He's going up against old foe Rudy Gobert, which, brother, I've got 47. This feels like a good one. In that same line of thinking, let's ride the hot hand. Nikola Jokic over 0.5 3-point shots.
I like that, man. He's been feeling it from three. He's got his rhythm. I think he's looking to take that three with more confidence now. I like that bet.
And he'll be looking to draw Rudy Gobert out of the paint to completely.
Did you guys see this stat the other day? Rudy Gobert has the same amount of blocks this season as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You guys did not see that? I'm guessing from that reaction.
That's tough.
That is tough.
In full honesty, peek behind the curtain, I wanted to name this pregame lounge, is Rudy Gobert the most overrated player of all time? Because he either is or he had like the biggest 1 year drop off in skill and production ever. Because this guy was just rattling off Defensive Player of the Year awards like it was nothing, anchoring one of the best defenses in the league year in, year out, gets to Minnesota and just doesn't block shots anymore. Doesn't even he hasn't been getting double-doubles even.
I
don't know what's happening.
I don't either. I'm delighted to see it. We always like to see the downfall of all of our haters. And the other thing I'm looking at tonight, I think this is going to be an Aaron Gordon night.
Nice.
He's going up against, I guess, Slow-Mo, since we don't have
Slow-Mo versus fast
go. Fast go versus Slow-Mo. That feels like an Aaron Gordon matchup that is tailor-made for him. I think I'll go points, rebounds, assists, over 26.5. Lock that in.
The one thing I will say about Gordon tonight, he played 37 minutes last night, staggered with the bench, which I thought was a great move for Mike Malone. I thought Mike Malone had a great night of coaching last night.
He did.
37 minutes is really on the upper end of what he plays. So I have that in the back of my mind a little bit. Like, will fatigue be an issue with any of these guys? Could it be an issue with him? I don't know. Maybe.
It's true.
Maybe.
I feel like, though, with him, he can always just cut to the rim and get dunked.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? The other player I was looking at, considering betting, Michael Porter Jr. this night. Michael Porter Jr., over 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists for him as well. I just feel like he's sort of rounding into form. He's getting into a groove again. He's been playing like really balanced, really like complementary basketball, but also like taking over at certain points. Like it just feels like it's the age of Michael Porter Jr.
He's going to prove to Tim Connelly that, yes, he did deserve that max contract that he gave him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So those are the picks. And then if we want to go to a same game parlay,
Let's
you guys
do
tell
it.
me if you guys
let's
what you
do
guys are feeling. First off, I like in the same game parlay, I like Jamal Murray points at over 17.5. He obviously is going to be the freshest of the Nuggets, and I imagine there'll be some amount of carrying that will be required of him.
I got my eyes on Jamal tonight. Like, he missed that last game. He should be fully rested, fully ready to go tonight.
Yep.
This should be a big Jamal game.
Yep.
I would think so as well. I love Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, the cantankerous Pope, 2+ 3-pointers.
Okay.
And then the old reliable 1 Nikola Jokic steal, the Cookie Monster.
That is
I feel
very
like he's going to
reliable.
steal it from old Rudy Gobert and delight us.
I am going to throw in a same game. I'm going to throw in a leg to your same game parlay.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to channel my inner Dev with this one.
Oh, God, Anthony Edwards threes.
Anthony Edwards over, let me find the points here. I'm going to take him over 25.5 points.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to take him 3+ threes.
Yeah, I actually had Anthony Edwards over 2.5 threes
There
as
you go.
a normal bet, but then I was like, I can't. Who am I? Do I look like Dev? No.
You're not Dev.
I'm not Dev.
That's who you're not.
I'm decidedly not Dev.
You guys want some last-second game notes?
Please.
Nas and Russell are out. The aforementioned.
Yeah, we said that about 20 minutes ago. Yep.
On this show?
Yes,
Yeah.
on this show during the game notes
Was I
segment.
here?
Yeah, yeah.
You actually may have said it.
It was during the game notes segment.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Vogt, who do you like tonight for DraftKings bet? Any props you like? Any players that you think are going to have big games? Any players that you think are going to put up duds tonight?
Well, I only like to make guarantees, and I don't know if I can guarantee a good vibe through bets right now. I can guarantee a good vibe to anyone who wants to go and check the box score of the Suns game today.
Holy smokes.
That's my parting contribution to this show.
Okay. Let me. Oh yeah, super chat. We got a super chat from Gordon,
Let's
our
go.
guy, coming in with the pregame super chat.
Unbelievable.
Kel, you got to make that screen bigger. I can definitely.
It says
not
time to
see that.
totally trash Tim's Timberwolves team. Alliteration from Gordon Glasner.
Love it, Gordon. I gotta throw in a little player prop here. I'm gonna go to threes. Bruce Brown 2+ threes is plus 265 if you put that in the same game parlay.
Oh, man. Bruce Brown has been an absolute tear.
Adam had this stat the other day. He put this, or yesterday, maybe last night. He put this in the Slack. Bruce Brown has already attempted a career high in threes for a season.
I know, man, and he's shooting 42%.
And he's only played
Right?
35 games.
Did I make that up?
41%. 3.3 threes per game. The most he's taken in a season before this is 1.7. So he's doubling up. He's been great. See if he can stay hot from beyond the arc. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we win some money tonight. If we don't, it's all his fault.
That's true.
But
What are you going to do?
regardless, we'll be back here hopefully in a winner's lounge after Nuggets Wolves. We're going to go down to the bar. We're going to watch this game. We're going to hang out. Talk to you guys after the game.